God says this is an urgent message for you, and Archangel Michael's voice is moving toward you with a power that cannot be ignored, with a gentleness that still shakes your heart deeply because you know when something divine approaches you, you feel it before you understand it. God says very good news is happening in the next 3 hours, and even though you may not fully understand how something so sudden, so unexpected, so perfectly timed could be aligned for you, heaven has already put everything in motion. The reason you are reading this in this exact moment is because your spirit is ready to hear what your mind has not yet accepted. God is preparing you, not frightening you. God is calling you close, not pushing you away. God is reminding you that you are safe, protected, guided, and never abandoned. And Archangel Michael is standing with you, making sure you do not miss the miracle that is forming right now, quietly, powerfully, behind everything you can see. God says you have entered a time where blessings travel faster than the storms that once tried to bury you. You have entered a time where the smallest prayer, even whispered with a tired voice, carries the force of 1,000 angels because heaven knows how much you have struggled, how much you have waited, how much you have pushed through silently. God says the next 3 hours are not an accident. This timing is not random. This is not coincidence. This is a divine countdown, a sacred window where something shifts in your favor, something opens for you, something that has been blocked suddenly breaks loose. You may not see the movement yet, but heaven is already arranging people, conversations, opportunities, protection, and pathways that will come toward you faster than you expected. Archangel Michael says do not ignore this message. Do not brush it aside. Do not think this is something ordinary. This is not a message meant for the world. This is meant only for you. Michael says your heart has been exhausted from carrying too much pain, too much worry, too much fear, too much silence. And heaven cannot let you continue like that. Michael says if you skip this message, if you take this moment lightly, you will miss the clarity, the warning, the protection, and the blessing that is being sent straight to your spirit. He says the reason you felt the sudden pull to open this, the sudden urgency in your chest, the sudden sense that something is trying to get through to you is because heaven is literally speaking to you right now. God says you have prayed for signs, and here they are. You have prayed for change, and it is coming. You have prayed for breakthrough, and it is forming. You have prayed for help, and heaven has answered. God says you are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. Even the things that look like they are falling apart are secretly falling into place. Even the delays were protection. Even the closed doors were guidance. Even the disappointments were redirection. God is arranging something bigger, something better, something perfectly matched to your destiny. Archangel Michael says this very good news coming in the next 3 hours is tied to something you have been waiting for so long that you almost lost hope for it. It may come through an unexpected message, a sudden shift in someone's behavior, an opportunity that opens out of nowhere, an answer that appears when you least expect it, or a quiet feeling of peace that suddenly replaces all your fear. But whatever it is not small. It is not minor. It is not random. It is a divine confirmation that heaven has not forgotten you. God says you will not walk into this blessing alone. You will not face the next season with fear. You will not enter this shift unprotected. Michael is already standing beside you, placing divine shields around your energy, your home, your heart, your spirit, and your path. He is clearing what was sent to distract you, removing what was meant to confuse you, dismantling what was created to block you. God says nothing will be able to stand in the way of what is meant for you in this season. Nothing. God says you have carried too much on your own. You have been fighting battles in silence. You have been trying to stay strong even when your heart was breaking. You have been trying to keep faith even when life felt like it was pulling away everything you needed. But God says now it is time for you to receive. Now it is time for you to see what heaven has been preparing. Now it is time for you to understand why certain things had to end, why certain people had to leave, why certain paths were blocked. Everything that confused you is going to make sense soon. Archangel Michael says he has been watching you through every difficult night, through every lonely moment, through every tear you hid from others. He never left you. He never stopped protecting you. He never stopped guiding you. He never stepped away from your side even when you felt abandoned by the world. Michael knows how deeply you wanted relief, and that is exactly why this good news is happening now. He says heaven is not late. Heaven is right on time. God says do not fear the unknown. Do not fear the changes that are coming. Do not fear the shifts happening around you. Do not fear losing anything because what is coming is greater than what you thought you needed. God is turning your fear into strength. God is turning your waiting into testimony. God is turning your silence into victory. God is turning your exhaustion into renewal. Archangel Michael says the reason this message feels intense is because the blessing coming toward you is intense. The reason the urgency is strong is because the miracle is close. The reason you feel a push inside your spirit is because heaven does not want you to miss this moment. Michael says your intuition is being activated. Your heart is awakening. Your soul is being prepared. You are about to receive something that changes your energy, your path, your confidence, your courage, and your future. God says there is someone you have been praying for, someone who has been connected to your journey, someone whose decisions affect you deeply. In the next 3 hours, something shifts around this person as well. Something hidden comes to light. Something stuck becomes clear. Something blocked becomes open. God is untangling knots, correcting paths, and restoring alignment. What was confusing will become clear. What was painful will become healed. What was uncertain will become stable. Archangel Michael says do not let fear make you ignore this message. Do not let negativity make you doubt this. Do not let tiredness make you skip this. If you skip what heaven is giving you, you will cry not because something bad will happen, but because you will realize how close the blessing was and how easily you could have missed it. But Michael is guiding you so you do not miss anything meant for your soul. God says breathe. You are safe. Nothing will go wrong. The path ahead is blessed. The timing is divine. The protection is strong. The miracle is real. The next 3 hours hold something powerful, something sacred, something created only for you. Trust God. Pray to Him. Stay calm. Keep your heart open. God says your name has been spoken in heaven for favor. Your pain has been transformed into breakthrough. Your journey is shifting into alignment. This is your moment. This is your sign. This is your confirmation. This is your blessing arriving, and God says once again, with love and certainty, you are safe. You are protected. You are never alone. The very good news is already on its way to you. God is speaking to you right now, and this is not an ordinary moment. This is not something you can treat casually or delay for later. God says that what is being released into your life in the next 3 hours is something so powerful, so life-changing, so divinely orchestrated that ignoring this message would be a deep mistake. Archangel Michael stands beside you, placing light around your shoulders, and he says, very good news is happening in the next 3 hours. Do not ignore this. If you skip this, you will cry so much later because you will realize how close your miracle was. God knows your heart. God knows your pain. God knows the quiet desperation you have carried inside yourself even when you tried to pretend you were strong. And now, God is sending this message to tell you that the time you waited for, prayed for, cried for, and almost gave up on is already unfolding. God has watched you endure storms that should have broken you. There were moments when the world thought you were finished, when people judged you without knowing your battles, when your own mind tried to convince you that you were alone. But God says you were never alone, not for a single second. Even when you felt like you were drowning, you were being held. Even when you felt abandoned, angels were standing around you. Even when your nights were heavy, God was whispering strength into your spirit. God says that every moment you kept moving forward, even when you were exhausted, has been counted in heaven. Not one tear went unseen. Not one prayer was ignored. Not one sleepless night was forgotten. Heaven remembers everything. Archangel Michael says you are entering a divine window. A spiritual opening that does not happen often. A shift that changes timelines. Something is being written in your destiny right now, something you cannot afford to overlook. This is why He speaks with urgency. This is why God makes your spirit feel awakened at this moment. Within the next 3 hours, something will move, something you prayed for, something you needed, something that felt delayed but was never denied. God says, I am releasing good news. I am sending a message that will lift your heart again. I am opening a door that no human can shut. This is not random. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing wrapping itself around your life. You are stepping into something so sacred that the enemy tried to distract you from it. All the negative thoughts, all the self-doubt, all the stress, all the confusion that recently tried to overwhelm you, these were not accidents. They were attempts to pull you away from this message. Because the moment you read this, your spirit realigns with heaven. Your path becomes clearer. Your energy becomes protected. And your destiny moves faster. God says the reason the next 3 hours are important is because what is coming will bring clarity, confirmation, and a level of peace you haven't felt in years. Something is being arranged behind the scenes for you. A message, a call, a decision, a release, something that will bring a deep sigh of relief. You have carried heavy weights for too long. God is lifting them now. You have been waiting for breakthrough after carrying burdens silently. God says this breakthrough is already in motion. The angels are moving. The shift has begun. There were people who doubted you, who thought you wouldn't rise again. God saw that. There were people who spoke negatively about you when you were not around. God saw that. There were people who took advantage of your kindness and expected you to remain silent. God saw that. And now, God is turning everything around for your good. Not because you asked for revenge, but because you stayed pure-hearted despite the pain. God says your heart is the reason miracles will follow you. Your compassion is the reason blessings flow toward you. Your sincerity is the reason heaven is honoring you. Archangel Michael says a divine protection has been placed around you. A circle of light surrounds you so strongly that nothing negative can enter unless you allow it. You are protected from spiritual attacks, envy, jealousy, and hidden harm. Even the words of those who secretly wish bad upon you are returning to them empty, unable to touch your life. You have been given favor that cannot be taken away. Archangel Michael says that your name is being spoken in rooms you have not entered yet. Opportunities are traveling toward you. People who dismissed you will be shocked by what God is about to do next. God says the reason this message came with urgency is because your spirit has reached a turning point. You are stepping into a new chapter. A chapter of peace, stability, financial growth, emotional healing, and divine alignment. You are not losing anymore. You are not breaking anymore. You are not walking alone anymore. God says, I am with you. Rest assured, nothing will go wrong. You are safe. He needs you to believe this with your whole heart. You have survived too much to doubt yourself now. There is something you prayed for recently, quietly, privately, without telling anyone. God is answering that specific prayer. Not the one you prayed loudly, but the one you whispered in fear. The one that came from your deepest vulnerability. God says, I heard you. I am responding. You may not see how it unfolds yet. But the blessing is already formed. Heaven has already released it. You only need to receive it with faith and readiness. You have been feeling something shifting inside you. Some days you feel hopeful, other days anxious. Some days you feel like giving up, and then suddenly you feel a spark again. That spark is God. That spark is divine guidance telling you that the blessing is near. Your spirit has been sensing what your mind could not understand. God says you are not imagining it. The breakthrough is real. The change is real. The blessing is real. And it is closer than you think, not next year, not next month, but now. Within hours, Archangel Michael says he has been fighting spiritual battles on your behalf. Clearing your path, removing obstacles, protecting your energy, and blocking people who were pretending to care but secretly wanted you to fail. You may not realize how many dangers you avoided because angels stepped in. You may not understand how many blessings stayed with you because heaven covered you. But everything that did not break you, everything that tried to stop you but could not, is proof of how chosen you are. God says you must stop doubting yourself. You must stop questioning your worth. You must stop believing that you are behind in life. You are not behind. You are right on time. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. You are not unworthy. You are being elevated quietly. God says elevation sometimes feels like isolation, but only because God removes you from what cannot go into your next chapter. You were not losing. You were being protected. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. The next 3 hours are important because the energy around you is aligning with divine favor. Something is unlocking. Something is shifting. Something is being rewritten in your destiny. God says there is a message coming that will give you clarity. A sign that will confirm everything your soul has been sensing. You do not have to force anything. You do not have to chase anything. What is meant for you is coming directly to you. You will receive it peacefully and effortlessly. God is bringing you a season where your heart can finally rest. No more emotional chaos. No more heavy anxieties. No more nights questioning your worth. No more pretending to be fine when you are breaking inside. God is healing your inner world. Your emotions are being restored. Your confidence is being rebuilt. Your purpose is being revived. You are entering a time where you will feel safe again, where you will trust again, where you will breathe again. Archangel Michael says your next chapter is not just about survival, it is about joy. Real joy. Tears of relief joy. The kind of joy that makes you forget how painful the past was. You are not meant to carry old sadness into your future. You are not meant to carry old betrayal into your new blessings. God is removing the weight from your spirit. You will feel lighter. You will feel clearer. You will feel guided. God says, do not fear what is coming. Fear not the changes. Fear not the unknown. I am with you. Nothing will go wrong. You are safe. He repeats this because he needs you to hear it deeply. The anxiety you've been carrying is not from heaven. The fear you felt recently is not from God. The confusion you experienced was the enemy's last attempt to distract you from this moment. But that ends now. Clarity is entering your life. Peace is entering your heart. Strength is entering your spirit. Your life is not stuck. Your path is not blocked. The delay was God's protection. The waiting was God's perfect timing. Something bigger than you expected is on its way. Something you thought was impossible will now become reality. Something that seemed distant will arrive suddenly. God is known for sudden miracles, and you are stepping into one. Archangel Michael says he has been instructed to guard you closely in these next hours. Because what is coming is precious, important, impactful. You cannot afford negativity to distract you. You cannot afford fear to weaken you. You cannot afford doubt to blind you. Heaven is asking you to trust. Trust with your heart. Trust with your spirit. Trust with your faith. God says your blessing is not small. It is not ordinary. It is not temporary. It is long-term stability. It is permanent peace. It is divine restoration. It is better than what you lost. Better than what you expected. Better than what you imagined. You will look back and say, "Now I understand why it took so long." You are divinely guided. You are divinely chosen. You are divinely protected. And within the next 3 hours, the first sign of your breakthrough will appear. Pay attention. Stay aligned. Trust God. Pray. Keep your heart open. God says, "I am with you." Rest assured. Nothing will go wrong. You are safe. Trust me. And Archangel Michael stands beside you, wings spread wide, saying, "Good news is here. Do not ignore this." And so it is. God says this to you in this very moment, with a breath of divine urgency flowing through your spirit, because something has shifted in the unseen realms, and heaven is moving around you faster than you think. God says that the next 3 hours are not ordinary hours, they are spiritually charged, time-sensitive, divinely aligned moments that are carrying a very good news that has already begun forming around your life. And this good news is not weak, not small, not fragile. It is powerful, life-changing, and destined to unfold in a way that will surprise even you. God says, "Do not ignore this, because this moment is not a coincidence. Not an accident, not a random message passing by you. This is for you because heaven has chosen you for something that others were not prepared to carry." God says you have walked through storms silently, you have carried pain quietly, and you have cried tears that nobody saw, but heaven saw every single tear falling. And now, because of that silent endurance, a very good news is being released into your life within the next 3 hours. God says this message is urgent because your spirit must be prepared, your heart must be ready, and your faith must be aligned in this moment. Archangel Michael steps forward and says that this is not the moment to scroll past, not the moment to say maybe later. Not the moment to think, this is just a message. No, this is something that heaven is placing in front of you with intention. Archangel Michael says, you must not ignore this, because ignoring this moment would make you cry later, not because God would harm you, but because you would realize you skipped the very sign you were praying for. Michael says that heaven is giving you this divine alert because the changes coming into your life are too important, too precious, too connected to your destiny to be overlooked. Michael says you are being guided, you are being protected, and you are being surrounded by angels right now, even as you read this, and you might not feel it physically. But spiritually, the energy around you is shifting in your favor. God says that what is coming to you in the next 3 hours will feel like a long-awaited answer, a breakthrough you kept hoping for, or a relief you desperately needed. Something is aligning behind the scenes, a conversation, a message, a decision, an opportunity, a shift in someone's heart, or an open door, and this shift will directly touch your life. God says that you are safe, deeply safe, completely safe, and entirely protected in His hands. Nothing will go wrong with you. Nothing will harm you. Nothing will collapse around you. You are not alone in this season, and you never were. God says, trust me. Because I am holding something for you that is bigger than what you lost, bigger than what you feared, and bigger than what you imagined. This very moment is sacred because the next 3 hours are spiritually marked for you. God says there are times when heaven moves slowly, there are times when heaven waits, and then there are times like this, times when heaven speeds up, times when angels move rapidly, times when everything begins shaking into place. And right now is one of those times. God says, do not ignore this because you have been asking for a sign, and many times, my child, you asked, God, if you are truly with me, show me something so clear that I cannot doubt it. And God says, this is that. This message is not sent randomly. It is sent because the good news that is forming around you is time-sensitive and requires your awareness and your faith. Archangel Michael says you must breathe slowly right now because spiritual activity around you has increased. Whether you feel calm, stressed, confused, tired, hopeful, or uncertain, Michael says your energy is being recalibrated by heaven. Michael says he has been fighting battles on your behalf in the unseen, removing obstacles, shifting outcomes, redirecting negative intentions, and making sure that what was meant to harm you cannot touch you. You are safe because God has placed a shield of divine protection around you that cannot be broken, blocked, or interfered with. Michael says the very reason this message found you is because you are connected to heaven in a way that is deeper than you realize. You have a calling, a purpose, a destiny that requires protection. And that is why heaven is speaking urgently. God says the good news coming for you will bring clarity, peace, and relief. You will look back and say, I did not expect it to happen this way, but God knew. You will understand that the delays you faced were divine timing. You will understand that the pain you experienced was not punishment, but preparation. You will understand that the people who left you or ignored you were removed for your protection. God says, the next 3 hours will shift something in your timeline. Something will be released, something will be revealed, something will turn in your favor. And when it happens, you will remember this moment. God says, you are not reading this by accident. Your spirit was pulled here intentionally. Heaven aligned this moment with your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts. And God says, my child, you need to know that nothing in your life has been ignored by me. Every cry, every prayer, every silent suffering, I heard it all. And now, because of what you endured, something good, something very good, is coming. Archangel Michael says that you often underestimate yourself. You look at your life and think you are behind. But heaven sees you differently. Heaven sees your strength, your resilience, your kindness, your heart, and God says, because of your heart, you are receiving something beautiful soon. Good news is already on its way, and the clock has already started. The next 3 hours hold energy, movement, alignment, and breakthrough. Something you could not fix on your own will begin to shift. Something that felt stuck will begin to loosen. Something that was blocked will open. Michael says the angels are already moving toward this outcome. God says, trust me. Do not be afraid. Do not doubt. Do not let fear steal this moment from you. You are safe. You are protected. You are watched over. You are held in my hands and wrapped in my presence. No negative force can touch you. No darkness can overshadow you. No plan formed against you will succeed. Heaven says your faith is unlocking things you cannot yet see. God says, the reason this message is urgent is because you needed a reminder that you are not forgotten. You needed reassurance that your life is not stuck. You needed to hear that something good is coming, because you have been emotionally tired, spiritually tired, and mentally tired. God says that exhaustion ends soon. Peace returns soon. Clarity returns soon. Strength returns soon. And the very good news coming in the next 3 hours will begin that shift. God says, this is not a small blessing. This is a significant one. A turning point. A shift in direction. A redirection away from what hurt you and toward what will bless you. You will experience signs, synchronicities, intuitive nudges, or sudden messages that confirm what heaven is doing. And when it comes, you will understand why God warned you not to ignore this moment. Archangel Michael says the spiritual energy around you is glowing brighter right now. He says he is standing beside you, guiding you, covering you, and ensuring that you remain aligned with your divine path. Michael says he will not allow you to fall, not allow you to be harmed, not allow you to be left alone. You are too important to heaven. Your destiny is too important. That is why this message is here. God says, stay calm, stay open, stay prayerful. Speak to me. Call on me. Trust me. And in these next 3 hours, expect the beginning of your breakthrough. Expect movement. Expect clarity. Expect something to shift. Expect the good news that heaven has already prepared. God says, you are safe, deeply safe, completely safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. I am with you, and I always will be. God says this is an urgent message only for you, and Archangel Michael is standing beside this message as it reaches you. He says you must not ignore this because something extremely good is happening in the next 3 hours, something that has been delayed for so long that even heaven has been waiting for you to receive it. God says this moment is not ordinary. It is a divine point in your timeline where everything begins to shift in a direction you prayed for secretly, silently, and with tears in your heart. Michael says he has watched you carry burdens that were never yours, responsibilities that broke you, and disappointments that tried to silence your hope. That's why he is saying firmly, almost with urgency, that you cannot skip this message. If you ignore this, you will miss the emotional signal heaven is trying to send you. You will cry later because you will realize how close you were to a miracle that was already being prepared for you. God does not want that. He wants you to receive what has your name on it. God says you are safe. No matter what you experienced in the past seasons, no matter who tried to deceive you, confuse you, or discourage you, no matter what obstacles rose against your soul, none of them are stronger than divine protection around you now. In these next 3 hours, heaven is arranging a shift in the form of a message, opportunity, breakthrough, or unexpected favor that will put you into a position of emotional and spiritual relief. You may not see the signs with your physical eyes yet, but spiritually it is already moving toward you like a wave that cannot be stopped. God says He is already ahead of you, making the path smooth for what is coming. Archangel Michael says he has been waiting for the exact time to tell you this. And that time is right now. He says he has fought for your name in places you couldn't see. He has pushed away the energies that wanted to drain your strength. He has corrected the paths that others twisted against you. He has guided your steps even when you felt lost. And now, because heaven has approved something for you, He is urging you not to ignore this, not to delay reading this, not to question if it's for you. It is for you, only for you. He says the good news arriving in the next 3 hours is tied to something you once thought was impossible. It may come in a small form or a sudden large form, but its impact will be strong, emotional, and meaningful. God says He has seen you fight storms without telling anyone. He has watched you smile while hiding your pain. He has witnessed you trying to help others even when no one helped you. He saw the nights when you cried quietly so no one could hear. He saw when you were misunderstood, when you were blamed for things you never did, when you were left alone to fix situations you didn't cause. And now, because of all that you endured with a pure heart, heaven says your season of sudden blessings is here. In the spiritual world, doors are opening for you faster than you realize. The things that were blocked are becoming unblocked. The situations that were stuck are beginning to move. The people who doubted you will witness a shift in your life that cannot be explained by logic. It will only be understood as divine intervention. God says He is rearranging something major in your destiny. This rearrangement will remove pressure from your mind, bring clarity to your path, and restore the energy and confidence you lost. Archangel Michael says you have been under spiritual fatigue for too long. You have been drained emotionally, mentally, and physically. But he says your restoration begins now. He says you will feel a lightness in your spirit soon, a gentle lift around your chest area, a release of tension that you have been carrying unknowingly. He says the next 3 hours are like a portal of divine energy opening just for you, and that's why he is warning you not to ignore this. If you skip this, you skip alignment, and alignment is what heaven needs from you for this blessing to land smoothly. God says a very good news is coming toward you at a divine speed. Something you have been waiting to hear, waiting to feel, waiting to experience is finally making its way to you. Whether it is financial, emotional, family-related, relationship-related, or connected to your destiny, God says He is placing His hand on it. He is telling you not to fear, not to panic, not to think negatively. The path ahead is protected. You are being lifted out of the cycle that has been repeating for too long. You are entering a new pattern of movement, progress, communication, and clarity. There is something you asked God for recently, something private, something you spoke about when no one was around. God says that request was not ignored. Heaven heard it clearly. Michael has already sent the energy of that request forward, and the process has started. You may not have seen the physical signs yet, but the spiritual timeline has already shifted. God says He is bringing you into a place of emotional peace. You will feel safer, calmer, more centered inside yourself. The anxiety you carry secretly will reduce. The heaviness on your heart will begin to fade. You will start to feel hopeful again, and not just hopeful, confident. God is giving you a new kind of inner strength that you have not felt in years. This strength will help you rebuild everything that was broken, restore everything that was taken, and claim everything that belongs to you. Archangel Michael says your intuition is increasing. You will sense something before it happens. You will notice signs around you more clearly. You will hear messages in your spirit that feel accurate. You may even see dreams that reveal truth. Heaven is opening your awareness because the good news coming soon will require you to be spiritually awake so you can receive it without fear or confusion. God says you must prepare yourself emotionally because the blessing coming may feel overwhelming in a good way. You may cry tears of relief. You may feel like a weight has been lifted. You may realize how much you've been suppressing. But God says these tears will not be tears of pain, they will be tears of release, healing, and gratitude. Michael says he has been protecting something connected to your future. Someone may have tried to interfere, delay, or block it, but he stopped it. He says you are no longer in a cycle of struggle. You are stepping into a cycle of reward. He keeps repeating, very good news, very good news, very good news. He says it 3 times because heaven wants to confirm that this is not a mistake, not a guess, not a coincidence. It is a divine certainty. God says there are people thinking about you right now, and not all of them have bad intentions. At least one person feels guilty for how they treated you. Another person is realizing your value. Someone else wants to reach out. But God says He will guide the conversations. You don't need to chase anyone. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to prove yourself. Those who are meant for your journey will recognize you naturally. There is something connected to your money, your livelihood, or your work that will open up for you. God says He is creating a doorway that will bring financial relief. You will not feel stuck forever. You will not struggle endlessly. You are entering a better financial phase. The mistakes of the past will not follow you into this new season. The losses you faced before will not repeat. God is resetting your financial energy and putting you in alignment with provision, stability, and unexpected opportunities. Archangel Michael says he has been clearing the path ahead of you. He has removed people who were pretending, situations that were draining, and energies that were not good for your spirit. He says you may have felt lonely because of these removals, but that loneliness was divine protection. You were not abandoned. You were being preserved. And now, because the season is changing, God is sending a new type of connection into your life. People who understand your heart, people who value your presence, people who bring peace instead of confusion. God says that in the next 3 hours, a shift in the spiritual atmosphere around you will begin. You may feel calmer, or suddenly hopeful, or suddenly emotional, or suddenly motivated. You may sense something is about to happen. That is the confirmation. Heaven says this shift is not random, it is the first sign of the good news being delivered. Michael says he is standing guard over your next steps. He will not allow anything harmful to interfere with your blessing. No spiritual attack, no negativity, no evil intention, no jealousy, and no hidden plan can touch what heaven is sending you now. You are protected from every direction. You are in the center of divine attention. Your name has been spoken in heavenly places with honor. God says you have been carrying too much alone. You have been silently battling things that should have broken you, yet you are still standing. That strength is why heaven is rewarding you. That resilience is why your blessing is guaranteed. That purity of heart is why God is stepping in at this exact moment. Your next chapter begins.